Hi, and welcome to Create, Automate, and Scale podcast. Tune in to this inspirational, straight to the point, relatable content for entrepreneurs to help you mastermind the everyday hassle, give you business tips, networking opportunities, shameless money talks, and scaling secrets. Created to support you, to support coaches and course creators just like you, to help you take action, stop trading dollars for hours, and explode your business. It's time to hit that six-figure and beyond. Let's go! Welcome to another episode of the podcast Create, Automate, and Scale. Hi, I'm Sophie, and I'm your host. Today I'm having a seriously epic conversation with Molly, and we're talking about what works right now to build your email list fast and free. So I hope that you are as caffeinated as we are and as excited that you have a pen and paper ready because this is going to be good. Molly is a successful professional photographer. For 16 years, she turned her knowledge into a business course for other photographers. She grew that course, wait for it, to $2 million per year, helping thousands of business owners worldwide. She now helps business owners turn their passion into an online course for a stream of passive income. Molly currently lives in New Mexico with her husband, Aaron, and dog, Franklin. And you can often find them camping in the mountains, road tripping, and around the campfire with friends. Oh my gosh, that is a life. Welcome, Molly.
Hello. Thanks so much for having me. I'm excited to chat all things list building.
I am so excited to have this conversation. List building is probably the number one problem of let's say 99% of entrepreneurs. It's something that we all have to go through to start selling. It is not okay to just post on Facebook to our aunts and uncles and friends. We are way past that. We're here to build a business. We're here to build passive income. So let's dive into it. What works right now? And that is free to build our email list.
Awesome. So before I dive into the tips and tactics, I want to share some stats around email marketing because yesterday I had a coaching call with some of my students and a lot of them felt like they were quote unquote failing at building their email list, but really they just didn't know what good stats were for email list building. And so when I asked them, what's your open rate? What's your this rate? Your that rate? I'm like, dude, you're crushing it. Like you're getting better numbers than I am. So let's just start out with what are good metrics for building your email list. Now, a really good email open rate, and it depends on your industry, but I would say that a really good email open rate would be like 30%. You'd be like rocking it. What do you think?
I love 30%. 30% is like my margin, right? So if I'm below 30 and I repurpose that content, that email, I'm going to be okay. Let's see what I can improve to maybe improve the title, the subject line. But if it's over 30 or 50, I do not touch it.
I feel like 30 is really good. And it also depends how big your email list is. If you only have 100 people, then you might have 50% plus open rate. So totally agree with you. So I just want to get that metric stat out of the way. And the other thing is, I think sometimes we think that we have to have this really big email list to make a lot of money. So I just want to share with you guys what I was able to do with my last business that Sophie just shared. I was a photographer for 16 years and then I educated photographers. Before I closed that business in very early 2020, we had 60,000, so 60,000 people on our email list, and we were doing $2 million a year from that. And so I don't even feel like that's that big of an email list, but my business was really niched down to specific photographers. So we were able to scale our business to those numbers. So that's just something to keep in mind is like, even if you just get 500 people on your list, you can sell in a handful of people into your course or whatever the thing is. So don't feel discouraged if you are only getting a handful of email opt-ins per day. It really can still make you great money. So just want to start out with that. So to answer your question, what is working today? So honestly, what is working today is what was working when I first got started in 2014. And not just because these are great foundational tactics, But also because with the changes with iOS, ads still work, but they're a lot difficult and more expensive than they were, let's say 2016, 17, 18, 19. I found those were like the golden years. So not saying that ads don't work, but I do think it's very smart to start with organic marketing first, because if you don't get things working with organic, AKA like free marketing, then it's not going to work with ads. Like I always think of organic as the fire and ads are like the fuel to that fire. And if you don't have a fire burning, then ads are not going to, it's not going to do anything. Okay. So what's working right now? Freebies are still the best way to build, one of the best ways to build your email list. So what that is, we call it either a freebie or a lead magnet. So this can be any kind of digital download, a script, a tool, an ebook. It could be a video. It could be a mini course. It could literally be whatever you want it to be. It could even be like a physical book. It doesn't matter. The whole point is that people put in their name and email address in exchange for getting that free item. But back when I first started in 2014, I feel like you could make anything. You could be like 10 top mistakes business owners make, and you would blow up your email list because there just weren't a lot of people doing it. However, there's a lot more people doing online business today, which I know might seem frustrating, but it's actually a great thing because now we have all these great softwares and tools, and heck, we have Canva. We have all these cool things that did not exist. Like I used to have to hand code websites and design things in Photoshop and whatever. So anyways, it's actually a lot better today. But something to keep in mind with your freebie or lead magnet is to make sure that it is a download that's going to get someone an immediate result. So you don't want this to be an actual book. You don't want this to be lengthy. You don't want this to be something people are going to have to put a lot of time and effort into. You want this to be something they'll download and get an immediate result. So this could be a spreadsheet where they enter in some words and it populates a bunch of content topics, some sort of tool in your niche that will get them an immediate result.
I love that immediate result because you almost have to be like the little sparkly unicorn in a sea of horses. It has to pop. And it can't be too much work because people are not invested yet in what you have to offer. They're still learning about you. So that immediate result, you know, I call it like if you have to make me do that little happy dance that's waiting on the other side, just waiting for the email to pop in my inbox and just give me that little jolt of endorphins.
I love it. Yeah, because like you said, they don't know you yet. So they're not going to trust that your tactic's going to work for them to put in 10 hours to get the result, right? So it needs to be some sort of an immediate thing. I think I'll leave you guys with some more examples of we're not leaving yet, but give you guys some more examples of some like immediate things. So for example, some of my freebies right now are for those looking to create a digital product. I actually have a free download that gives you a Canva template ebook, like an ebook Canva template. So you can just plug and play in your stuff and you have a digital product made, plus a done for you funnel to actually sell that ebook or use it as a freebie to generate leads to your email list. So these are both things that are completely done for you. You don't have to do anything. You don't even have to be like, you don't even have to trust me. You don't have to know anything about me. You're just like, okay, I got this funnel. I put my stuff in. There it is. So yeah, you just want to think for your industry and your niche. What is something? So when I used to teach photographers, one of my downloads was just a posing guide. So there's nothing they need to do. It's literally just pictures of my top selling poses. So no effort on their part.
I love that. I think even us non-photographer would like that guide.
That's actually a great idea, like posing for influencers for your Instagram. Love that.
Because
take that idea.
So awkward, right? I am so awkward in front of the camera and I don't know what it is, but
embrace it. Your followers will love it.
I am a disaster. I think everybody loves me about that. I own my disaster. But I'll look at the camera, like even a selfie, and I'm like, damn, I look good. And I take the picture and I was like, what? What is it? Do we not have a good relationship, me and this phone? I don't know. It's a whole thing.
That's funny.
All right. So now we have a seriously epic freebie. So not the boring, nothing too boring, nothing too lengthy, something that people actually need right now. And after we have that freebie set up, what do we do?
Yeah. So what you do is like I said, I do have this funnel for you. So if you go to freedomcreator.co, you can go get this for free. That's just tied in there. But essentially what you're going to do is create a quote unquote funnel. It sounds a lot scarier than it is. Essentially all it is a series of web pages. So the first web page is just going to say what the free thing is. And then it's going to ask for your name and your email address. And when you submit that form, the email is going to go into your email database. And then the actual person who filled out the form is going to get a thank you page with the delivery of the freebie on it, or you can deliver it through an email or both. You can do whatever you want, but it's really that simple. It's literally just name and email, submit the form, get the freebie, like easy peasy.
I love it. I'm a tech nerd, so I am all over this. And I will say this, when you start to set up some automation, yes, sometimes new things, most of the time, new things are overwhelming. But this is such an important step to take into your journey and into passive income, because automation can save you from hiring a whole team too early or hours and hours.
That's a good point. The whole team too early. I just have to highlight that. That is good.
Yes. Yes. Has this happened to you? Completely off topic.
I would say that in the beginning of my career, I was actually very good at like making sure that I wasn't hiring people. Not that there's anything wrong with hiring. It's just you want to make sure when you're first starting, you don't probably have super high revenue, super high profit. You're just starting. So I was really good with that. But then there came to a point where when we were doing the $2 million a year, where we got a little bit team happy and that can really cut down on your profit margins. So I really like that you brought that up, because I think there are like circles or whatever in our industry where people get really happy about the actual revenue and like all the cool things that they buy. And if you sit back and really journal on it or ask yourself, like, why are you in this? It's probably not for, I don't know, the cool stuff. It's probably because you actually want like the freeing lifestyle and you want to help people and you want to help change people's lives. And in order to do that, you need to have healthy profit margin. And yeah, I don't know. I could talk about that all day, but hopefully that makes sense.
I love that. Team happy. I have never heard that, but I freaking love it.
There's a lot of mentors out there that will basically tell you like to scale your business, you just need more team members. And that's actually just not true, like at all.
No,
and I'm all
agree.
for hiring
100%.
people, but like it needs to be the right balance. You can't just hire people and expect them to know, like, obviously if they knew how to scale a business, they would have their own business. So I don't know. You need to like have procedures and training and things in place for people to do their job well.
Absolutely. I'm someone who has been hired countless of time too early in the team.
Yes.
Right. Working with tech, working with.
I have definitely made that mistake. I have hired people too early. I've seen both sides of it. It's not good for anyone.
If you are not so sure about your business, if hiring a team member is different than hiring a coach to look over the funnels as to why the funnels are not working, those are two different things. So if you don't know what you do, or if your business is not converting, adding a team member will never help you solve that problem. That's where a coach or a course comes in. And I was hired. Yes, I'm very good at what I do, but those are two different things. Yes, I am an awesome boss. Okay. Online space. I'm good and I love it. That doesn't mean that I can fix your entire business for you if you don't know what you're doing, if you don't know what's converting for you. So just want to highlight that.
Yeah, I'm just over here clapping. Yes, that's fantastic.
We have been through this. So tech is overwhelming. Take a deep breath. It's okay. Come into my world. I will help you do the funnel. But take a deep breath, and even taking 15 minutes out of your day to start automating little pieces of your business, especially this one, can make a huge difference. So I absolutely love that. Now we have a freebie, we have a funnel, we have a thank you email. How are we going to grab and bring people onto that list?
This is the best part, guys. This is the best part. And before we talk about this, I just want to say you can totally like yes to hiring a tech person. I've done that so many times. But also, I just want to say you do have enough time in your day. I know we all think we don't have enough time. And also you will feel very empowered learning something new. I promise. And there are all these help documents and things out there. So both options are great. But if you haven't made money with your business yet, don't spend money. This is just my opinion.
Learn. The empowerment alone that you can get from just learning, it's the basic, and you're in control. Then you don't have someone else in control of your business, really, because what if that person leaves the business for whatever reason, right? So if that person leaves your world and you no longer have a business, you don't have a business, you had a person. And learning some of those basic skills will be so empowering because you're not going to panic in terms of emergency. You're just going to be able to fix the problem, bada bing, bada bing, and move on with your day.
And it doesn't matter how big your business is. Like, even when I was $2 million per year, there were things that I wish I had known so that I could go in and fix it, or I didn't even know if it was being done right or wrong. I'm a huge fan of actually learning the thing and doing it yourself once, documenting it, and then handing it off to somebody else.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
How do you promote your freebie? I know we should do like a whole episode on that, but how do you promote your freebie? So you're going to need to grow a following somewhere. Okay. And this is where it's fun because there's so many different options. I think everyone needs to choose like their main community content source. I don't really know what that's called, and I believe that it should be one of these three things. It should be a YouTube channel, a blog, or a podcast. I think those should be the three things. And in today's world, I think that it should be a YouTube channel or a podcast. Here's why: a video podcast. Because of all the video that's going around right now with TikTok, Reels, YouTube Shorts, if you can already film a long form piece of video content and then have it chopped up to all these different places, it's going to make your job so much easier, especially when you're starting. It's going to feel impossible to be on every platform because like it is. Don't try to be on every single platform. Just pick a platform and become really good at it before you move on to another platform. And that's going to be your source of the lifeblood of your business. It kills me to see people struggling with sales for their business, but they're not focusing on growing their audience. And it's like, where do you think those leads are going to come from? They're not going to come out of midair. You have to pick a platform to fall in love with and make it like your number one priority. So with my last business, photography education, that was a blog. I started it in 2014. That was my literally multiple times a week. I was living, sleeping, eating, breathing blog posts. Like that's all I did. I promoted them on Pinterest and Facebook groups. And I was just like hustling to get these followers. And what's crazy is the majority of my email list, I did build like that 60,000 people. The majority of those people were organic. So like you don't need like ads. Like I promise you, you can do it later. But right now with my business currently, I'm doing YouTube. And even though I'm new to it and I only have a couple thousand followers, I'm still getting insane amounts of email opt-ins, sales. Like people will literally find me through YouTube and just buy my course. So it's really helpful and also necessary to grow a business. And I know there's a lot of people out there that will say for digital products, I'll just go on Etsy or I'll just go on Udemy or I'll just go on whatever. I got to tell you, it's not going to be the dream that you think it is. Everyone thinks Etsy and Udemy and all these sites, oh, I'll just post on there because they'll drive traffic for me. Go ahead and try and come back to me in 30 days. Like it's not going to happen. All the Etsy sellers I know that actually make a somewhat decent living, which I got to tell you on TikTok, people are bragging about making 30 grand in 5 years on Etsy. So grow your own following if you want to make substantial money, but also Udemy and stuff. There's this YouTuber, Ali Abdal, and he even said, I think it's 99% of his Udemy sales come from his YouTube channel. So even though it's hosted there, they're not sending him any traffic. So I'll step off my podium, but it's so important to build your own following.
I love absolutely everything you said. A lot of the people will say, I'll just start on social media and build the podcast or the YouTube channel later. But here's the thing. No, because podcasts, blog, and YouTube, that is evergreen content. So all of the content that you're putting on social media, and I'm not saying to do it or to not do it, You can go look at my boring social media. I'm barely there and my business does just fine. I'm just saying.
That's awesome.
But we work so hard, and I was there before, right? You work so hard into social media content, and you work hard and you're hustling and you work hard and you're hustling and you're getting a little bit of traction, but it's never really going to move like a blog, a podcast, or a YouTube channel is going to be. Yet the YouTube, the blog, and the podcast are evergreen content, which means it doesn't die, which means that people can do a search on Google and find you. So let's think about working on your future business, long-term business. You're always working and hustling, and you're wondering, when is that going to end? It's going to end when you put some time into working on your long-term business, not just today's business.
Oh my gosh, are we the same person? I feel like I would say every single word that you just. No, I love it. I love it. And actually, after what you just said, it got me thinking. So I will share also like what you should do to actually move those people to your email list. But also, even if you do want to have a podcast too, I would say personally, I would put it on YouTube, because think about it this way. You are on YouTube. Okay, let's take my channel, for example. I put out a video every single week. And now my team, which by the way, I just have a couple like VAs. So it's nothing crazy. They just repurpose these clips to all the different short form platforms, YouTube Shorts, TikTok, and Instagram Reels. And then in addition to that, I do also record some trend stuff. I really just pay attention to what's actually working each week, month, whatever. But what's cool is not only can I use the clips for that, not only do I have a long form for YouTube, not only does that also track with SEO, not only is that evergreen, people can search it, all these different methods now I'm being found. But also I trained my VA to create blog posts for my YouTube videos, and then we pin those on Pinterest. So that's actually, I believe, how you become omnipresent on every channel, is by having that one like platform that you then repurpose to. And I think a lot of people get that wrong. Gary Vaynerchuk isn't actually on every single platform. Like, he has a videographer following him around and creating content, repurposing all these clips. They'll take quotes from a video. They'll take this. He's not on every single platform separately. That is next to impossible. I can't name one person that's on every platform separately. Okay. So now that you're inspired and you're like, okay, we get it. I need to have a following. How do you move the following to email subscribers? So the overall message is this: promote the freebie to your following. It's going to depend what platform you're on. So I'll use my YouTube channel as an example. So in my actual video, I make sure that I have a call to action to tell people that I have freebies in the description below. And I very carefully make sure that I have a freebie that goes along with each video. So if I'm doing a video about artificial intelligence tools, I'm going to make sure that I have a freebie download that is correlated to that thing. If I am doing something about ebooks, I'm going to make sure that I have a Canva ebook download or a template or whatever. And this is also why it's important for you to learn how to just create that freebie yourself, because then you can just whip these up. And it is a lot of work to make sure that each freebie like matches the thing you're talking about, but it is worth it. And I'm sure many of you have heard of this internet marketer, Amy Porterfield, and how she grew her email list very quickly was on her podcast. Every episode would have its own freebie. She actually doesn't do that anymore, but she did it for years. And she said the only reason she stopped doing it was because it was a lot of work. But she said that it worked fabulously, and it works fabulously for me as well. So if you are on YouTube, you want to put it in the description, and then also make sure that you're telling people about it. Okay. They're not going to just read your mind and know to go there, right? Same with your Instagram. Make sure that your reels, you either have a call to action or you have a caption written about it, and you're telling people link in bio, and you actually have, like, I use Linktree, just the free account. I don't pay for it. And I just have the links to all my freebies there. What other social platforms can we talk about for that?
We have Facebook and LinkedIn. I know TikTok. Obviously, I would say TikTok.
Yeah, TikTok would be the same as Instagram. You can't put a long caption. So for TikTok, I don't tell people, like, unless it's in my video, I don't tell people to go to my link in bio, but I got to tell you, they just do it. Like, I get a lot of leads from TikTok, especially I've had about 10 videos go viral and rank in their search engine, which no one talks about. Like TikTok's a really good search engine. And when you get a video that does well, it's going, when they search, except for example, if you search like Canva tutorial or something, my video is like one of the top videos, and then people find me and then they go to my freebie. So that would be another way. Okay. So Facebook group. Okay. One thing I've been talking about with my students a lot lately is they're so darn afraid to use that everyone tag. I don't understand why. I will use that every day until they take that away from me. Everyone's, oh, I wish there was a way to reach my audience. It sucks that that my posts don't reach my whole audience. Then Facebook gives you, am I allowed to swear on this podcast? I don't
Absolutely.
know. Then Facebook gives you a goddamn gift and you're like, I'm not going to use it. So you definitely need to use it. And here's the thing. If people are annoyed by receiving a free gift from you, they are never going to buy. And then you should be happy that they're leaving your group, because then your reach will be better. Same with your email list. The other day, I wrote a very saucy email list about what's going on in the US with our economy and all this stuff. And I was like super scared to hit send on it, but I've made a pledge to myself to really be more of myself this year, because that's also a great way to grow your following. You can't just hide behind being like everyone else. So I sent this email and I got triple the amount of unsubscribes as usual. However, I got, I don't know, 4 times the amount of replies, messages, people saying, wow, this was really resonated with me. Don't be afraid to attract and repel, because if you're just being mediocre, no one's going to buy from you. They're going to buy from the people that they know and trust and feel like a deep connection with.
And you're not going to attract the right people. And I say this with a lot of experience. It is not a good experience for anyone. It is energy draining, and you're not going to love this life as much as you should.
Yes. No, that's so true. If you're, because I've done this. I've totally done this where I'm like, okay, I have a podcast. I'm going to put on my business uniform and be professional and do my hair and my makeup and blah, 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 blah. And this morning, trust me, this is a work in progress. I have a hard time with this because I had a professional photo studio for 16 years. And like, I did have to actually put on that face and really kind of dress up a little bit. And this morning I was like, no, I'm not doing this anymore. Like, I'm going to be myself. I'm going to wear my waffle shirt. I'm pretty sure I bought this at Walmart. And I'm going to wear my hat from Target. We got rivals going on here. And I'm not like a super fashion. I don't like to spend money on clothes, and I'm just over it. I used to pay for those services for people to dress me. And I'm like, I don't want to use my money on that anymore. I don't care. I'd rather go to Europe or put more in the stock market yeah.
I show up sometimes I have this, okay, my husband's deployed and he's my heat source. So I have this giant like blanket and I'm 4 foot 11. It's like,
that's so true.
It goes all the way to the floor, and sometimes I just show up in there because that's me. And
that's amazing.
It's more fun, right? Yeah. So I did swear in a few emails and got quite a few unsubscribes, and some people replied and were not happy. But so many people replied and said, thank you.
And I think at first, when you're first growing your following, it's hard because if you're not yourself, like day one, 100%, then when you do decide, okay, I'm going to be myself, I'm going to swear, I'm going to do these things, then you're going to make people mad. It's best to just do it from day one, but I will admit it's hard to be yourself on camera day one.
Yes.
I've been in business for 20 years and I'm still struggling with it. But the faster you can just be yourself. If you don't swear, cool, do that. If you do swear, do that. If you want to talk about religion, do that. If you don't, like whatever it is you want to do, you should. And the main reason we have these businesses where we grow this following and we sell digital products or whatever it is you sell, obviously we want to help people, but we also want to create a lifestyle that we enjoy. And like you said, if you are building character that isn't you, like you will be so unhappy. And here's the thing too, is once you do reach all your money goals, let's say all of your bills are paid, all your debts paid off, you're setting aside plenty of money, like everything is met, you're going to be very unhappy if you only set monetary goals. So make sure that you're setting goals around what are the relationships I want to cultivate? What do I want my day to look like? How much free time do I want? Because we bury ourselves in work to have success, but then when that success comes, what do you really want things to look like? So something to chew on.
I absolutely love that. There's tons of people in my life. They're like, Sophie, you need to build like an agency. This is the business for you. And I don't like working with people. That would not make me happy. No, there's no way in shape or form in my life do I imagine myself working with like hundreds of people ever. I would rather have a smaller business and keep working 3 to 4 hours a day than have $50 million business and have a team to manage and all of the people's feelings. And I know this sounds a little cold-hearted, but I'm an empath.
But it's honest. Yeah.
It actually hurts me a little bit because I'll absorb everybody's sort of energy. And if you're all stressed, oh my gosh, I am stressed. So I can't help it. So for me I'm not saying work alone for the rest of your life. That's not what I'm saying, but I'll never have this big giant team. I would rather have a smaller, intimate, happy team.
We are so the same. These are all the things I want. I had a team of 25 people at one time, and I loved everyone on our team. So this is nothing towards them, nothing personal at all. But for me, I found out you don't find things out until you try it. Like, you don't know for sure. And I was so stressed out. Like, I honestly hated my business. Like, it's just, I found out like and we did have like managers and stuff. So I wasn't managing 25 people, but it's just like, I am not someone who wants to have this big team. And I know a lot of people that have built $50 million businesses. And I got to tell you, like personally, like we're talking neighbors, people I've gone to dinner with on a weekly basis, like people I know what their lives look like. They ain't doing much aside from working. Okay. Until I guess you get bigger than that and you can, if you decide to go corporate and offload it and all that, or sell your company. But I've seen people build to 50 million and it's never like something where they're just like, oh, I only work 4 hours a day and it's super easy and I'm not stressed. Like, it does not look like that. And you live and learn, and you don't learn until you try something. So if you think you want that, try it. And then if you don't, you can always scale back.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh my gosh. We talked about so many amazing things today.
This is all list building. Just kidding.
Such an important conversation. Thanks for tuning in to the Create, Automate, and Scale podcast. We hope you found today's episode to be inspirational, informative, and straight to the point. Our goal is to provide you with relatable content that helps you mastermind the everyday hustle, grow your business, and achieve your goals. As an entrepreneur, we know how tough it is that it can be to navigate the world of business, which is why we're here to support you with valuable tips, networking opportunities, shameless money talk, and scaling secrets. We're dedicated to helping coaches and course creators take action, stop trading dollars for hours, and explode their business to hit that 6-figure and beyond. Make sure you subscribe to our podcast to stay up to date with the latest episode, and feel free to leave a review or reach out to us with any feedback or questions that you may have. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you in the next episode of Create, Automate, and Scale.